Fundsupermart.com.
Hi, the Chinese government has recently lowered the 2012 GDP forecast to 7.5%. What is your outlook for the Chinese economy and market for the rest of the year?
Sure. I think expectation of adjustment slowing down from 8 to 7.5% shouldn't be a big surprise by the market because last year I think the government has already announced the next 5-year plan. The expectation on the growth is about 7.5%. It's certainly not a sharp slowdown. Same time, I think we are expecting to see slower growth for sure from the GDP macro side, and also we're expecting to see a lower inflation number, which we have seen in the latest print, which is probably one of the lowest number in the last few months. And at the same time, from the employment side, the employment remains relatively tight, and consumption growth remains resilient. So we do foresee a slower growth. However, it's resilient and more sustainable growth. In terms of the impact on the market-wise, given the corporate earning growth is likely to be slowing down as well due to the macro picture. I think the market has already start affecting those in the last 2 years, because corporate earning growth in the last 2 years have been very, very strong, but the market has been derated pretty significantly. China market was probably one of the worst performing market last year. So that's why I think the market doesn't take the news by big surprise this year. So going forward, the corporate earnings growth is going to slow down, but it's not going to be zero. So we're still expecting to see corporate earning growth, and I think the market at this level still gives you a little bit confidence in terms of upside.
What is your general outlook for the Hong Kong and Taiwanese markets?
Hong Kong, that's the two markets we're investing. Hong Kong and the Taiwan market is the two markets we're investing from China Fund perspective. I think Hong Kong market is more geared towards China story, and Taiwan market to a certain extent is more geared towards European and US demand. So I think, as I mentioned earlier, I think the Hong Kong market, given the slower China growth story, there'll be more stock-specific opportunities in the Hong Kong markets. So we're less interested in doing a macro or thematic call. We're more interested in looking into specific stocks, which are really geared towards the China policy going forward. And in the Taiwan market, I think certain stocks, given some of them did pretty poor last year. There's still stock-specific stories we can play as well when the US actually start recovering this year.
Are there any specific investment themes within the Greater China region that you are bullish on right now?
From fund perspective, we are less focused on thematic investment. We're more focused on stock-specific stories. But overall, we still are very interested in consumer discretionary space, energy space. In both sectors, we have selective names we really like, and which they are at a reasonable valuation. And also there are the government focus on restructuring the economy, increasing the minimum wages, and slower down the fixed asset investment. I think both consumer discretionary and energy actually are getting to the investment theme as well.
So are there any sectors that you are more bearish on in the Greater China region?
I wouldn't say bearish, I guess a little bit more cautious for near term. That's really from the earnings slowdown perspective, especially in the industrial space. Certain companies, given the raw material price increase in the last couple of years and the demand slowdown, some of the industrial companies are facing challenges in terms of margins and earning growth. So I'll be a little bit more cautious on investing into industrial companies. And also certain cyclical sector like shipping company has done very well year to date. After this recent rally, a lot of those shipping companies are trading at above book level. However, at the same time, I'm struggling to see those companies making strong profit for the coming quarters. So I think I will stay a bit more cautious chasing those names.